Networking is not your best business development tool. It never was. Now, before you push back on that, I want to be clear about what I'm not saying. I'm not saying relationships don't matter. In fact, I think they matter more than anything. I'm not saying referrals don't work because, well, for most of you, referrals probably built everything you have. What I am saying is this: the most powerful way to build the kind of relationship that leads a high-value client to choose you without hesitation, without shopping around, without needing to be sold, is not a handshake at a conference. It's a YouTube video. And by the end of this video, I think you'll understand why. Hey, I'm Rob, and in my last couple of videos, I talked about why your ideal clients are already choosing firms before they ever make contact, and how AI is reshaping where that choice gets made. Today, I want to talk about something more fundamental: why video specifically is the right tool for a firm that built its reputation on human connection. Because I'd argue it's not despite that, it's because of it. Let me start by saying something out loud that I hear all the time. Rob, we're in a relationship business. Our clients choose us because they know us, they trust us, they've worked with us before, or someone they trust has vouched for us personally. That's not something you can replicate on YouTube. I hear this and I understand it completely. Here's my question back. How many relationships can you build in a year, realistically? Between the work you're already doing, the clients you're already serving, the travel, the events, the dinners, the calls, how many new relationships can one person genuinely build in 12 months? Well, maybe 20, maybe 50 if you're exceptional. Now here's a different question. How many people could watch a 12-minute video you record once and walk away feeling like they already know you? The answer is unlimited, and it compounds. Every week you publish, that number grows. Every video stays live, keeps working, keeps building familiarity with people you've never met, people who are quietly deciding whether to trust you with something important. I want to share an analogy that I think captures this perfectly. Think about news anchors you grew up watching, the ones that your family trusted. Maybe it was Peter Jennings, or in Canada where I am, maybe it was Lloyd Robertson. Maybe it was somebody else entirely, but you didn't know them personally. You never shook their hand, you never had dinner with them, but you trusted them. And every evening when it was time for the news, the choice of who to watch felt obvious. It was habit even. And not because they were the most qualified or because they had the best credentials. I know Lloyd Robertson has talked about how he was able to climb the ladder in his era just because he had good pipes, so to speak, a really good voice. The reason you chose to watch them was because you knew them. You knew how they spoke. You knew how they handled a difficult story. You knew their manner, their judgment, their presence. Familiarity had built trust, and trust had made the choice obvious. That is exactly what happens when a prospective client watches your YouTube videos. Not after one video, not immediately, but over time, over, let's say, 10 videos, over, let's say, 6 months of occasional watching, they do come to know you the same way your best clients already know you, before they've ever spoken to you. And when the moment comes that they need what you do, when a problem lands on their desk that they can't solve alone, the choice of who to call feels obvious. Not because you sold them, but because they already trust you. This isn't just an intuition. Research on how trust builds through repeated exposure tells us that optimal familiarity, the point where someone genuinely feels they know and trust you, that typically forms after 7 to 12 exposures. 7 to 12. That's 7 to 12 videos watched over whatever time frame fits your viewer's life. And here's what that looks like in practice. Just look up a few financial advisors. There are financial advisors who have built YouTube channels using this exact model. Consistent, expert, unpolished video recorded from a laptop or a phone. No production crew. And many of them report that prospects watch 12 to 18 months of their content before reaching out. 12 to 18 months of quiet relationship building. And then they book a call. And that first call closes often at a rate of 90 to 97% because it isn't a sales call. The relationship is already built. The trust is already there. The decision has already been made. The call is simply a formality. Now, that's a financial advisor. I know that in my local market, there's a mortgage broker doing very well with that strategy. Your niche is going to be different and your clients are going to be different, but the psychology is identical. Human beings build trust through familiarity, and nothing builds familiarity faster at scale than video. At this point, you might be thinking, that's a compelling case for content. But why video specifically? I know a lot of people are afraid of getting on video. So why not a newsletter or a podcast or a column in an industry publication? Well, all of those things have value, but none of them do what video does. When someone reads your writing, unless they already know you, they hear their own voice in their head. When somebody listens to a podcast, they hear your voice, but they can't see you. Compare that to when somebody watches you on video. Then they actually experience you more fully. They see how you think when you're mid-sentence. They see what you do with a difficult point. They see your eyes, your gestures, your presence. Research shows that people retain 95% of a message when they watch it in a video, compared to just 10% when they read it in a text. And these are numbers I've seen from several sources over the years, and they really haven't changed much. So 95% versus 10%. In a world where your prospective clients are already skeptical about what to trust online, where AI-generated content is everywhere, a real human being speaking with genuine authority is more valuable than ever. Your voice, your face, your thinking. That cannot be faked. It cannot be generated. That is your competitive advantage in an AI world. Now, I want to circle back to something. The objection I raised at the start. We're in a relationship business. That's actually the best argument for doing this, not against it. Your firm's greatest strength is that clients trust you. That trust was built through time, presence, and genuine expertise. YouTube doesn't replace that. It extends it. It takes the thing that makes you exceptional, your thinking, your judgment, your way of seeing a problem, and it makes it available to people who haven't met you yet. It lets the relationship begin before the first conversation. So when a managing partner sits down at her kitchen table late on a Tuesday evening, quietly looking for someone she can trust with something important, she finds you. She watches you, and by the time she closes her laptop, she already knows who she's going to call. That's not marketing. That's a relationship. It just started before you knew it was happening. Now, in my next video, I'm going to talk about the thing that stops most people from ever starting. And I kind of alluded to it earlier when I talked about the fear of being on video. And it is that. It's the camera. If the idea of being on video makes you uncomfortable, if you've told yourself you're not the type, or you wouldn't know what to say, or you'd look or you'd sound wrong, that next video is going to be specifically for you. Because after more than 25 years in marketing and communications, and with some broadcast training at my foundation, I've learned what actually works on camera, and it's probably not what you think it is. In the meantime, if what I've described in this video resonates with you, if you can see clearly that the relationship model your firm is built on is exactly what makes you well suited for this, I'd love to have a conversation. I offer a session called an Authority Diagnostic. It's a focused conversation for established firms who are ready to make their expertise as visible online as it already is in the room. We'll take a look at your niche, we'll take a look at your existing reputation, and map out exactly what it would take to become the most trusted, most recommended authority in your space. You'll leave with clarity and a clear path forward, even if the path is not YouTube. If it doesn't make sense for you, I'll let you know that. The link to book that conversation is in the description box below. I'll see you in the next video.